Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis, updated commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together. And if you need help anything, check out finding-value.com. Let's dive in, take a look, see what's going on today. Starting with the DXY, we're right on support. We're basically moving sideways with the DXY today. This really could go either direction. We could bounce off support, work our way on up, kind of off this falling wedge to some degree. On the other hand, if we take and zoom out, we are right on top of that support, and it's possible that we do break it to the downside if the dollar continues to weaken. Uh, Historically, we've seen a good connection between the dollar and yields, but there has been some disconnect from that historical relationship that we've seen recently, with yields going up and the dollar going down, which is people not wanting to hold bonds or dollars. So we're at a critical juncture here. We very well could break to the downside, and that's what we're watching for. If we break to the downside, that would be good for commodities, emerging markets, and other markets that are non-dollar denominated markets. Yields are up. 2-year yields up 0.53%, and this still looks good to go higher. We're sitting on top of the pattern with a nice, good little bullish engulfing that occurred yesterday. We also have the 10-year yield that's up, still looks good to go higher, sitting on top of these bigger patterns that we've got. So this pattern here, sitting on top of it, and those generally break higher. The 30-year up 1.24%, breaking to the upside of a falling flag pattern. So that's bullish, and that's where you see my arrows. I don't even need to put these arrows in there. The formation and the way that it looks, that's where I get those arrows. TLT bond prices are down 0.98%, and again, the longer term trend is down. Nobody wants this garbage. That's really what it ends up being. The 2 and the 10, we are down 0.5, so that's a little bit of yield curve uninversion if this falls. We are getting a bearish engulfing pattern here today, and we could see if we get follow through on this. When this falls, if free fall speeds, and it could do that, that generally means that we have a slowdown in the market. At 9/11, housing, C19, all those previous events with the yield curve dropping like this. That's yield curve uninversion, and we very well could see that occur. TYX, TNX ratio popping on up a little bit. Here we are kind of squeezing in a rising wedge, and it looks like we could go higher here. I am correct. And if that continues higher, that is a large tailwind behind gold. Gold is down today, down 1.45%. Now, I know there was some news coming out with Iran and Israel, and I have no idea how legit that news is. I am questioning everything. But they have to control crude oil prices and gold prices as if they go up dramatically, which I think they will anyway. They are trying to slow it down, the moves. But right now, we're sitting on top of the pattern. This could be a retest move, and we could consolidate a little bit before moving higher. Silver consolidating sideways looks very good for a move higher. We're sitting on top of resistance, now support. So whenever we get stuff like this, even though we could pull back a little bit in the short term, we're sitting on top of support, which is a bullish formation. Platinum's up 2.37%. We do have a reversal candlestick here yesterday. We'll see if there's any follow through to the downside. If there is, Don't be afraid. Look for a potential entry point in that circle if you want to go long platinum. A lot of the times you get a breakout and then a retest. So you kind of come up, it'll come back, and then we'll move on higher again. Palladium down 0.55% today, and we've just been slowly pulling back. Not a lot of selling pressure. Very well could be a bullish formation. Generally, when you see these pullbacks with a bunch of small red candlesticks, that's a bullish formation to go higher. I call that the stair step. XAU to gold ratio is up 0.74%. So we're seeing a little bit of outperformance of gold and silver mining companies in relationship to gold. Gold was down quite a bit today, 1.45%. And again, we're coming from really low valuation levels with the big runway ahead of us. So GDX, now these are a little bit more leveraged. GDX is down 1.6, still looks good to go higher. It's just a down day, no reversal candlesticks. GDXJ, same thing. And SILJ. SILJ looks really good. This one looks poised a little bit more, a little stronger than GDX and GDXJ. I'll just draw this out here with a little bit better. I'll just do that. Crude oil's down 2.23. We didn't cut through the resistance like a hot knife through butter. We came back down. We're down 2.25% today. Now, does this mean that the rally's done? No. It could consolidate here, rest a little bit, and then give it another run and break out of this pattern and go into what I think will be a very big bull market for oil. Shoulder, head, shoulder, that pattern broke to the upside, and it's allowing us to try to break the bigger pattern, which is this pattern back here. We'll break through it. Just give it time. TTF gas moving sideways, still looks bullish. I'll be bullish for a long time. We have a falling wedge here. It's pretty big. And it'll work its way on up, I think. Natural gas in America is up 4.5%, right underneath longer term resistance. We're trying to break through resistance. So what you want to do is you look at the lows. Just watch the lows. Low, 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 low. And then we're just stepping right up into it. And we'll see if we can break out of this, which then will break through resistance. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, up 0.24%, even though we saw a weaker crude oil price today. Well, that's weird. Why are we seeing positioning in XOP? Because it's bullish. They're buying pullbacks in the oil and gas exploration companies. We're underneath some resistance still. The resistance is this white line going across there. The fractal that you see is what I think the expected path could be. Similar, not perfect. But right now, it's pretty dang close. it's pretty dang close. OIH down 0.67% for the energy service. And again, not a lot of selling pressure here. Looks good to go higher. Looks good to go higher. Newcastle coal futures up 0.5%. Looking good, feeling good. I think this will move on up. And again, this is a breakout retest. I like to buy retests. Sprott Uranium Trust up 1.13%. Now, we're trying to break out of that top upper line resistance. Could we go sideways here for a little bit? We could. I don't know what it'll look like, but you know what? We're trying. We're trying to break through resistance and run here. That's what we're trying to do for the Sprott Uranium Trust. Uranium futures pricing continues to move sideways, and I've got my little falling wedge flag pattern, whatever, pennant formation, whatever it decides to form here. Bullish. We come up fast, and then we consolidate sideways, and then another impulse move higher is what I would expect in the future. The equities up quite a bit today. URA up a little over 5%. But this looks like launch mode. Looks very, very good to move on up. But it doesn't mean every single day we'll move on up. We very well could close gaps. We could consolidate before heading higher. We might just rip higher. I don't know what the path looks like. But what I can tell you, we broke resistance. Sometimes we come back and back test the breakout. So we may do that. We may not do that. Again, I'm just giving you guys ideas of what I generally see. Generally, I see a back test, but it doesn't have to do that. That is not a 100% requirement. Uranium also breaking out of resistance here to the upside, up 7% today. Looking good, looking good. And this is again, it's the same bullish formation flag pattern that we're getting in the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. Looks very good. And then URNJ is up 10.5%. We're back to resistance though. So I took a line, connected these two here, and we're trying to break through resistance. That's why we're getting a little wick at the top. Sure, we'll get through it with time. Maybe we even come back and do a little bit of a retest or a gap closure or something. But we'll see. It doesn't have to do that. Things look bullish in the uranium space today. Nickel's down slightly. And again, we're still dragging with some sellers here. They're still holding us down, and we haven't been able to release from that yet. Copper's up 0.17%, sitting on top of the pattern. Still looks good to go higher. But we are through a low. We need to get through this resistance area. Lots of resistance. Look at all the wicks at the top here. Like somebody does not want it to break $5 a pound. Copper, the ETF, COPX of the mining companies, they look good, up 1.5%, sitting on top of support. Looks good to go higher. Lithium's up 0.43. I do think this looks good to work its way on up eventually. REMX is also up 1.54, and I drew that on the weekly there. I just kind of cut the wicks off, and that looks good to go higher. Looks pretty solid. And this is at a really, really low location with a lot of support underneath us. Iron ore down slightly, and we're still squeezing. We haven't been able to get out of this pattern. We've been just chop, chop, chop fest. Aluminum up 0.45% in an inverted flag pattern that could go lower still. We've got Baltic Dry Index up 3.36%. And again, we've made a pretty good move here. Looking good. Emerging markets up 0.25%. And again, I think this looks good to try to work its way on up if we can get through this congestion area. This will end up being a big consolidation that we're going to break from. It's going to be our launching pad. Move up 1.6%. That looks fantastic. Up, up, and away. No reversal candlesticks. This looks good to run. KRE also up 0.4 or 0.5%. Looks decent. Not the best. It's not like I'd be in here, oh, I need to buy some KRE. I'm just saying it looks okay. It's not good or bad. XHB up 1.1%. That also needs to break through some resistance and doing kind of a shoulder head shoulder deal going on. Russell's up 1.12, looking okay, sitting on top of support. The S&P 500 is up 1%. This thing is holding on. I know a lot of people are calling for the rising wedge that I've got drawn in there. NASDAQ's up 1.5%. It is cruising. It likes the money printing. SMCI up 5.13%, kind of trying to break through this resistance area. And looks like we could get through it here. We're partially the way through it. Like to see another follow-through day. That's bullish. NVIDIA's up 1.92, still at the tip here of that corner of the rising wedge. Bitcoin's up 3.7%, still above support, still looking okay at the moment. We very well could launch out of this thing. Ethereum's up 4.2 underneath resistance. We'll see if we can launch through that resistance here at some point. MicroStrategy down 0.16, still in a bear flag that could break lower. And then we've got the VIX down 8%. The plunge protection team is all over it. Got to push the S&P 500 higher. Got to push NASDAQ higher. Got to push all that stuff higher. That's what I've got for today, guys. We're going to leave it there. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you'd like. Special with the coupon code. It's over there. We've got the weekend session is up uploaded to the website if you'd like to view it. And then eventually we'll get the midweek update here on Wednesday. All right, guys, that's all I've got for today. I'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.